So in 2020, I identified a lot of coins that were very much undervalued. They may look dead to you, but they actually have good fundamentals, a good team, and potential for the future. This is the crux of it. Many people new to investing look at the wrong types of coins that are in a very, very explosive uptrend, nice and green, looking amazing. But reality is you're looking at the wrong thing. A lot of new investors are looking at the most obvious and most fundamentally driven by hype coin that's going to create wealth, but that is often not the case. As well, people look for brand new assets looking for a unicorn. That often doesn't work too, so you need to be careful. If done correctly, you can find a solid asset which has an active team, an active roadmap, a goal for the future with strong tokenomics, allowing you to create wealth long term by buying something as far away from all-time high as possible. I'm also going to over-deliver in this video by giving you a very good pointer. You need to ask yourself a question when you were doing your research: when was this coin or asset released? Has it been brought out pre-bull cycle? Has it been brought out during the bear market or towards the end of the bull cycle? That will have a huge factor on whether it's successful in price action or not. And that's the one thing that you need to try and avoid, is just looking solely at price action, which most people do. So without further delay, let's get into it. By the way, if you want to check out my Patreon 7-day free trial, you will understand fully how I think and what assets I'm buying if you are in that community. So here we are on the screen. Okay. 2020 was a crazy time. However, there was a lot of good solid assets that were around that you could have bought. And we're going to go through the 3 that I bought that absolutely revolutionized my whole entire portfolio. I'm going to give you some examples of ones to kind of avoid currently because they've already ran and you've missed the boat a little bit unless they come down drastically. We never know. Things may change. And I'm going to show you some assets that could identify as a new investment for you that are doing the same sort of approach. Let me explain. So, as I say, some things do magical things. Now, the first thing that I talked about, and I talked about this on my live stream yesterday, feel free to go and check it out. I talked about how I missed the boat with Ethereum by trying to get a little bit lower than I should have done. I'm very open about this. People often remind me. But yes, I tried to buy Ethereum lower than $82. It's greedy. You learn from your mistakes, and this is why I tell people, be exposed to the market, don't get greedy. I was very lucky in the fact that I was buying Zilliqa though, because I turned my Zilliqa stash into a massive loot. Essentially, it was great. However, that being said, it was kind of an obvious pick in my opinion. At the time, Zilliqa was the first sharding blockchain. It was released in February of 2018. If you know the date, you will know what's happening here. It literally went up and it went right back down as quickly as it was released. It sat here in a nice, beautiful consolidation for a very long time. It did nothing until the COVID crash, and then we went into the new bull cycle, right? This is the identification you're looking for. Consolidation, a solid asset that's been around and developing, even though it was hit by a bear cycle. It was active, it had a roadmap, it had an actual ambition at the time to do well. And it did. It delivered on those results and I made a lot of money on it, which was quite good. The second one was VeChain. VeChain was something that I held in the previous cycle. And this is important too. If you've got knowledge of the coin and you know what it's doing, it makes it much easier to buy and back and have that conviction to buy again. Again, look at it. This is when I was buying it, roughly them sort of times, not long after that crash. Chaos, absolute chaos, and this ran hard. I admittedly say this, I sold far too early, however, I made a good return. Again, solid team, solid fundamentals, solid narrative around how it worked and stuff like that. It was a real solid pick, and again, prior knowledge, I knew what I was doing. Fine. The next one, and the very most obvious one, was Cardano. Again, I had it in the ICO stage in the previous cycle. I sat on my bags, I took some profit, I then rebought back low, and I was buying around these points because I thought, wow, this is a really good buying opportunity, and look what happened, it changed massively. A lot of assets look like this on these higher time frames where they're just snail and sluggish and not doing much. However, it was still developing, it was still building, it still had the community, and it still had that network effect from that community. And then all of a sudden, when the market came back, we shot. That is similar to the blueprint. You know 3 things. When were they released? Have you been in it before? And what is the price action doing determined to what the team are doing? Are they still there? Are they still working? Is it still doing all that sort of stuff? But sometimes a price action will just consolidate like that, which is what you want, right? A lot of assets are doing it. Let's talk about stuff that maybe is not the thing to pick right now. Is injective. Solid asset, could go much higher, but the risk to reward was actually all the way down here, where you've got these low levels around this $1, $2 period, not so much at nearly $10, right? So you've got to quantify where your risk to reward is. Yes, it's a solid asset. Yes, it's a great asset. It could run much higher, but realistically, you want it to be in much lower. So you need to bear that in mind when you're picking your investments. Buy as far away from all-time high as possible, even though this can go much higher, and I'm not denying that. You're not going to make as much as what you would have done down here. You are looking for orders like this, and the proof's in the pudding. It does work when you find them. The next one is XRP. Now, again, this can run much higher, but it's recently just had a little bit of a blow off. It has been consolidating around this 30-cent mark for a very long period of time. It started to run at the start of the year into the 50s, just about. Now we're into the 74s, and we actually retested towards 90 cents not too long ago. So maybe you're looking at that thinking, well, actually I should have been buying down here, and then I can ride it. So just be careful with this one, just for this price action. Even though I do think it could go over $4 in the future, is it really worth trying to get $4 out of this in terms of it at 74 right now? Probably not, unless you were buying at those 40-cent mark where you can actually get a 10x essentially, right? So you've got to be somewhat careful. Again, it all depends on what the prices are saying. Sometimes I often say this, a profit is made, and you can quote me on this, when you buy. Sometimes not when you sell. If you've got a fantastic order in a solid asset, sometimes that's where the money really is. Now let's look at some of the real life examples of what we're looking at right now. I know, Polkadot, sorry, mention it again. Oopsie. But you know this. You are looking for charts that look like this. You are looking for charts that look like there's no life. Now, because a lot of new people in this space, and you can go through my comments on my video, you can go through my Twitter if you so wish to, you see it all the time. People look for conviction in price action charts like this. Because, guess what? Green looks good, an uptrend looks good, it looks confident, I should be investing in this. It's like when people all of a sudden decide, oh, Apple's a great investment at all-time high. It doesn't make sense, right? You have to make money by buying at the absolute floor in a solid asset. Whether your opinion is different to mine, I don't care. It's all an opinion, right? But to increase your chances of making bigger money is by buying assets that are consolidating and chilling and relaxing, because no one's interested, no one wants to buy it, because there's no ideology, kind of a way of motivating people to buy it, let's just say. So you've got to be somewhat careful. Another one that looks relatively good as well is AVAX. Look at this. It's just been chilling, just sitting here, la 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 la. Still a top asset, still got a lot of network effects, still got a community, still got a pro, still got a working team. It's just chilling. It's just like, all right, we'll just sit here. Why not? So you got to be somewhat careful of like the types that you buy, but this is all about you doing your research, right? If you know it's working and it's doing its thing, cool. What's the price saying? Well, the price looks like that. It looks like death. Great, I want it. That's kind of how your approach should be. And finally is another one, random one, is Near Protocol. Sitting here, chilling, relaxing, doing its own thing. All-time high, $20. It's currently sitting at 147. Anything changed? Nope. Has it improved? Yes. Has it got more network effect now? Yes. There's a lot of assets that look like this. A lot of them. I'm not going to go through loads of them because there's no point. But the blueprint is simple. You buy solid things, far away from all-time high, that has network effect, and a team that's working still, right? The other bonus part of it is when will they released. Now again, look at Nia. It just about had that full cycle. It came back down. It's had a cycle. Tick. It's good. Some assets don't have a cycle. They've never really had one before. Like I say, some of the crowd loans on Polkadot is a great example here. Got released at a really bad time. So a lot of those at really, really bottom prices may well do very well in the next cycle. You just don't know. You've got to look for them, all right? So if you're watching this video and you're confused because you like to buy things that are strong or influencers are telling you to buy the tops, it's probably because they're getting you wrecked, mate, literally. But if you're looking at the opposite side of it, you do the opposite to what they do. If they start showing coins when they're already a 4, 5, 10x, whatever, don't buy it. Probably sell it if you're holding it. And then the opposite is you see people that are doing videos saying this is not worthy of an investment because it's too low. It's given away all of its returns from the bull cycle. That is the worst thing you can say to anyone. The time to buy is when they look like this. It's very simple. If you want to make this even easier, look at dominance charts. Look to see what the BTC dominance is doing. Is it high? Look at DOT. When this is low, you should be buying. And then when it's all the way up here, you should be looking to sell, right? It's all a bit of madness. But anyways, if you like my stuff, leave a like. If you like what I've said, leave a thanks if you so wish to in the comment section or by the little button. Feel free to join the membership if you want to, if you want to see your comments heard and some extra content. However, that being said, there is a video to my side which will hopefully help you with some price predictions.